Marathon.
Dude. Leave!
Without a doubt.
I just couldn't imagine myself playing this for like, 300 hours. Because I feel like I'd just get like a fucking visual migraine. Like my eyes would turn green or some shit.
Is.
Would you rather have this or Destiny 3? Destiny 3, man. 3 fucking maps at launch for $40! 3 fucking maps for $40!
The most hated shooter of 2026.
That is besides Highguard. I think we can all agree on that one. So, did I do the YouTube thing right? Did I hook you guys?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Alright. So what's a better way to relaunch my channel than talking about the gaming community's darling game that everybody is absolutely in love with that's doing so well on the Steam charts right now? Give me 1 second. Hold on. Someone's calling me. Yeah. Hello? What? The Steam charts aren't doing great for this game? What are you talking about? Well, shit. Marathon, the new extraction shooter from the world-renowned developers from Bungie Studios, the creators of both Halo and Destiny, was dead on arrival before it ever even launched. And here's the problem, gentlemen. I'm sure you already know what I'm about to say based on the title of the video. After 100+ hours in this game, I feel genuinely that Marathon might secretly be Alright, I apologize. I really wanted to do that for a long time. Welcome to the channel, by the way. I love that you decided to stop by. My name is Eric, and yes, I am well aware that that makes absolutely no sense given the channel name. I don't care. Today I wanted to start a series of videos where I could sit back and chill and talk to all of you guys about shit that I think is cool. So what I want you to do is grab a beer, sit back, relax, and let's go ahead and start making this our thing moving forward together, okay? What I was thinking was we could call this a cold one with the boys. But I'm gonna leave it up to you creative folks down in the comments. Don't judge me on my pouring skills because I know they are terrible. My wife always gives me a hard time.
Nice.
I did not really think this through having this thing in the way. Let's just go ahead and get this part out of the way first. I understand people hate this game like they hate Taylor Swift being featured in every goddamn NFL broadcast.
Oh, and yeah, she's here. Taylor is here and ready to watch. There's Taylor Swift and the VIPs. Donna Kelty's living the best life of all. There she is with Taylor Swift again.
Is here in Arrowhead to cheer him on.
People don't just hate Marathon, though. They hate Bungie themselves. And let's be fair and give credit where credit is due. They've earned that shit. Over the entire lifespan of Destiny 2, they have had controversy after controversy, from the launch of Destiny 2 literally being a shit show, to making radical changes to hard-earned items in the game with the sunsetting nonsense. Hell, this is the same game studio who literally took paid DLC out of a game and never fixed it to this day. I mean, seriously, guys, this must be what it's like to be a Destiny fan right now.
Any second now, my partner is gonna roll in here and kill every last one of you.
This is going to hurt. A lot. Any last words?
Warframe was always better than you.
You want to talk about a dick move by a game developer? Doesn't get much worse than that. And then there's Marathon. Everyone's curious what this new project's gonna be. Is there going to be a story-driven campaign? Nope. How about an arena-style PvP mode like Halo? No again. Well, there must be at least some sort of PvE mode, right? Maybe a wave-based mode against AI, like a horde mode? Not even close. You mean to tell me it's just another trend-chasing extraction shooter? We're not talking about a continuation of the series or a remaster of the old game. A game with one game mode for $40? People were gonna hate this thing before they ever even touched it. How does an IP like Marathon go from a single-player story-driven game from the 90s, the same game that basically put Bungie on the map long before their days with Halo and Xbox, to a hardcore extraction shooter? I'm almost certain players thought to themselves the gameplay loop was gonna be this. You load into a match, you loot for 5 to 10 minutes if you're lucky, you die to a guy with significantly better gear than you, and you lose everything. No loot, no progression, and your time is wasted. However, I'll be the first to tell you that in reality, it's far more nuanced in my experience. With that said though, the game does have its issues. For example, the onboarding for new players and the UI design are bad, like genuinely horrible, without a friend holding your hand like a 2-year-old trying to learn the word grandma for the first time. Yeah, what can I say, man? I love the kid, but the G's are just hard for the little guy right now. Like, it's 2026, guys. We're in the doom scrolling era. People literally can't hold their attention more than for a few seconds. First impressions are everything, and Bungie definitely dropped the ball. Then we stack everything else on top of all that. Bad early gameplay impressions during the alpha testing, an art controversy from one of their past employees literally stealing someone's art, putting it in the game and leaving it there before release. And then, the worst thing that could possibly have happened to this game, the release of a far more accessible and quote-unquote casual game. It's no wonder this game never stood a chance, guys. Now, me personally, I never really vibed with Escape from Tarkov or the Division's Dark Sector. It just really wasn't my thing at the time. The first real extraction shooter I sunk time into was Arena Breakout Infinite. You know, the knockoff Tarkov that came out for dads? Then I started playing Arc Raiders at the end of last year with the rest of the world before I ever even heard of Marathon. I didn't watch a single promotional or marketing video on this game because I hadn't played a Bungie game in over 9 years. Then in February, I heard about the Server Slam coming out. So I did what a lot of people did that weekend. I made the worst decision of my year so far. I gave the game a download. I've been playing first-person shooter games for over 25 years. Halo, Call of Duty, Battlefield, thousands of hours, just in Halo alone. So when I tell you that this game hooked me, I mean it has taken over all of my day-to-day free time. When I'm taking a shower or I'm trying to fall asleep with AirPods in my ears, I'm listening to YouTube videos about this damn game. Marathon is already my second most played game on Steam, over 100 hours. And I know to some of you that might not seem like a lot, but for me, that's a lot. So today, I am not here to defend Bungie's executives who screwed over millions of Destiny players over the past couple of years. And I'm also not here to shill for Marathon and try to justify its flaws to you. What I do want to talk about, though, are the reasons why I feel this may be one of the greatest shooters of the entire decade. The truth is that there is a wide variety of reasons why this game works in my opinion. So let's go ahead and get started with the biggest one and the one that drew me in on my very first match. Bungie's legendary, iconic gunplay. Every weapon feels great to use. They're snappy, responsive, satisfying. I play most competitive shooters with a controller still, and this game felt so natural in the very first match that I played. Honestly, and I know this sounds cheesy, but it literally was like putting on an old pair of boots that I hadn't worn in a decade. That same Bungie DNA where you almost feel the floaty style of gameplay. I'm sure anybody that's played Halo or Destiny knows exactly what I'm saying. This game's gunplay is so well put together that gear fear, one of the worst things about games in this genre, is basically gone from my experience. Most extraction shooters, you may get lucky enough to get a great gun or an armor piece knowing damn well how hard it would be to find that same loot again, so you would never take it into another raid. In Marathon, since literally every gun is viable, you don't feel that same fear of losing your favorite weapon. In most of these games, better gear means you win. That's why, towards the end of a wipe, most players drop off because the have-nots are too far behind those who do have. You know, without the highest level gear in the game, there's a very likely chance you're going to load into a match with a player with far better armor than you. They're going to tank a full mag of your basic assault rifle, and then one-tap you with one of the best guns in the game. But in Marathon, being the better player means you win. Regardless of the gear you have on, positioning, communication, aim, timing, quick decision making, map control, in Marathon, all these are used to get the upper hand on enemies far more kitted out than you may be. And sure, some of these skills will translate to a game like Tarkov. I'm not saying those games don't take skill, but none of them, in my opinion at least, combine all of them with stellar gunplay the way that Marathon does. Every gunfight in this game has the signature tension that comes with a game like this. I literally don't know what else to compare it to besides Halo. Another thing I love so far about this game is the support and communication the game is getting. And yeah, I get it. Bungie and Sony's asses are on fire. Spending $250 million on a niche game will do that, it seems. But the fact that this game is doing so bad financially, and we're still getting constant balancing changes and transparency from the company is honestly refreshing, even if it is because they have no other freaking choice. The gameplay itself is outstanding, and playing it for even just an hour will show you that. The argument for gear fear and that the game is too difficult to learn is like trying to say that you need to get a tips and tricks video on how to play tic-tac-toe properly. I apologize, but I think with some patience, you probably can figure it out. I believe in you. But let's get real for a second. Good gunplay means absolutely nothing without good map design. And this is where Marathon sets itself apart from a lot of the other games in this genre. Perimeter is the first map that Bungie made for this game, and out of all the starting maps that I've ever played in an extraction shooter, this has got to be one of the best ones. You've got these massive industrial zones with long sightlines literally on every section of the map, so there's constantly this feeling that there's another squad that could be watching you if you make one wrong move. But what really makes the map a lot of fun is how different each major area does feel. You've got these close range fights in Holler, and then you have Vertical Chaos over at Station, where there's at least 4 levels where a player can shoot you from. And then an underground pipeline where it completely changes how you can rotate across the map. So the pacing is constantly shifting. One minute you're crossing open terrain trying not to get spotted, and the next you're clearing rooms inside of a close quarters building. And because Perimeter gives players room to rotate and flank, fights feel really dynamic instead of just chaotic. Plus, visually, this is peak Bungie sci-fi. Perimeter just feels like the perfect map to load in, learn the game, and have a great run. Then there's Dire Mars, which I'll be honest with you guys is my least favorite to play on, but still is impressive in scope and scale. It's massive, open, unpredictable, and even 100 hours in, I still don't feel like I've seen everything the map has to offer. You've got wide open rotations, hidden paths, and the occasional map events that pop up literally change how you approach each and every run. It's the kind of map that pushes you to learn the game's systems and mechanics to prepare you for the in-game content. Then you have Outpost, easily one of the most punishing maps to navigate. It's a smaller map with literal fire raining from the sky to block off areas. It has boss fights to get high quality loot and keycards to get into secret buildings. There's a literal centerpiece of the whole map that's called the Pinwheel, where the most AI spawn and all the teams fight over control to get access to. Every decision matters more on this map because you're constantly one bad fight away from losing everything that you fought for in that match. And then there is the crown jewel of this game.
Welcome, runner. There is no silence in these ancient halls. The marathon is waiting. So please, do scream.
Cryo Archive. This isn't just a map, this is basically a miniature Destiny raid disguised as an extraction shooter map. 4 teams drop in, fight through AI to unlock access to push deeper and deeper into the Marathon ship until everyone meets in the middle and only one team walks out. And if you survive, you don't just extract, you push deeper. 7 different vaults in the game, the best loot possible, and the final one has a full-blown Destiny-style boss fight for the best gear in the game. It's easily one of the coolest experiences I've ever seen in a game in the past 10 years. Now I know what you might be saying.
But Eric, who cares if the game has great gunplay and the coolest maps that I've ever seen in an FPS game in the past 10 years? My favorite YouTuber told me that there's no progression in the game and that it's a waste of time to play.
Fear not, dear viewer, there is more to this story, as I am not done yet because I want to get more watch time on my YouTube channel. You've got 6 factions, dozens of story-driven contracts, build crafting, not only just for the assortment of weapons in the game, but your entire character. Marathon isn't a hero shooter, it's a first-person shooter RPG, hidden inside of a PvP shooter. Every faction comes with its own upgrade tree, and each has its own wide variety of upgrades for both your shell and your weapons. You want to be faster at sprinting and reviving so you can roleplay as a combat medic? Yep, there's a shell and an upgrade for that. Want to build a melee-based character where you can stealth around the map? Yep. This game has that too. Want the freedom to just be able to upgrade literally everything with 0 limitations? I think you get my point. The shell's base stats are just that, the base. Implants, cores, modifications for the weapons, an in-depth skill tree. How you decide to upgrade your character determines your playstyle. That is literally the farthest thing from a hero shooter that I can think of. Once I started digging into Marathon's lore, I realized this world goes way deeper than I originally anticipated. The year is 2893. Centuries ago, humanity left Earth and traveled to the system of Tau Ceti aboard the Marathon ship, which is literally built out of one of Mars's moons. And at first, the colony actually survived. That is, until humanity made contact with the Four, a massive alien empire. War breaks out. The colony gets attacked, and during all of it, one of the 3 AI on board of the Marathon, Durandal, starts to evolve beyond human understanding. He becomes obsessed with freedom, morality, and escaping human control entirely. Now jump ahead almost 100 years. Tau Ceti is a graveyard. The colony's gone dark. Communication vanished decades ago. But somehow, the systems are still running? Security drones still patrol the planet like the place was never abandoned. And now, corporations are sending runners into the ruins to recover artifacts, data, and whatever secrets were left behind. But the deeper you go, the more runs that you do, the more it feels like something on Tau Ceti is still alive. And Bungie has already said that the story is supposed to unfold over multiple years through factions, contracts, seasonal updates, and discoveries, and this is despite how poor the numbers are looking on the Steam charts. So every run isn't just about extracting loot, it's another piece of figuring out what is happening on this planet. Because the deeper you look into Marathon, the more that you play it, the less that Tau Ceti feels like it was abandoned, and the more it feels like something is still there waiting. And honestly, I think that one of the reasons why there is a core dedicated fanbase is because of the world itself. Because everything about Tau Ceti feels unsettling in a way that's hard to explain. It's not in your face, but if you pay attention, there is a very deep sci-fi story to this game. And once you combine that atmosphere with the game's visual design, that's where Marathon continues to separate itself from everything else out right now. This game looks genuinely different than anything I've played in a very long time. Bright, clean, colorful, in a genre full of gray, lifeless shooters, this game has identity, and it's unapologetic about it. The same reason Halo 3 and Destiny 1 still hold up decades later isn't due to their high graphic fidelity, it's because of the passion the artists had while making those games. That same passion remains in Marathon. Whether it's creeping through the trees of Dire Marsh, making your way through the underground pipeline that connects POIs on Perimeter, or simply just fighting through the endgame map of Cryo Archive, Marathon has everything that you could want in a sci-fi shooter setting, with a style that's going to outlast its competition for years. That is, if it gets the legs it needs to last that long. And that's the thing, man. This game likely doesn't have years to go at this rate. Not because of its own quality, but because of the double standard that it's facing. Just a few years ago, we praised the CEO of an indie developer for saying that a game for everyone is a game for no one back in 2024. Now, when we look at Marathon in comparison, what do we get? A game that is not for everyone. And yet, the overall gaming community hates it. What we once praised 2 years ago, we now shit on in 2026. And this is where it clicked for me. I need to pour more of this beer. This was never really about Marathon. This is about Bungie. People don't trust them. Hell, people hate them. And honestly, that's fair. Just like I said before, this company has spent years destroying their reputation with bad choices, and I for one haven't invested time in Bungie's games in nearly a decade like I mentioned earlier. I don't give two shits about Bungie. Whether they succeed or fail has no bearing on my happiness. Gaming is supposed to be fun, not stressful. Why would I stress about a company's outcome that I don't work for? But I'm not close-minded enough to deprive myself of a great game simply because of who developed it. I'd miss out on a lot of games if I did that. Because newsflash, gentlemen, big corporations don't give two shits about any of us. Not EA, not Activision, not Ubisoft, not Sony. So why are we expecting something different from Bungie? So here's the bottom line, folks. Marathon, the game, is actually really good. And you should give it a try with your friends if you haven't already. Underneath all the controversy, there is something special there. Something that I haven't felt playing a video game in quite some time. That just one more feeling at 3 o'clock in the morning with your friends, whenever you're just right there, and whether you win or you lose, you just want to keep playing. That feeling that you used to get when you played Halo 10, 15, 20 years ago, it is there in this game. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know if this game survives. At the rate that it's going, it probably doesn't, and that would be a damn shame. Because if you give the game an actual shot, more than 30 minutes, more than just one run, you start to see, you start to feel what this game could become. You start to realize that it might just be. Okay, I promise that's the last one. Appreciate you guys. And that's the video, folks. I personally love Marathon, and I know that a lot of people are still going to shit on me in the comments. Most of them aren't even going to get this far into the video, and that's totally okay. Most people aren't even going to watch up to this point, and they're just going to put a comment after the first 1 to 2 minutes into the video. Hell, they might just see the title of the video and write a comment just from that. But I welcome the comments. Tell me if you tried it, and tell me the reason why you stopped playing it if you did. What was the reason it made you bounce off? And what would you like to see added to the game that would bring you back? And if you want, I'll go ahead and make a follow-up video where I talk about all the things I feel the game gets wrong and what I feel Bungie can do to fix it before it's too late. Was that a dramatic enough hook at the end to get you guys to go ahead and subscribe and watch the next video? With that said, I do hope that you enjoyed your beer and you enjoyed hanging out listening to me rant about Marathon for however long this video is. The raw footage is at least an hour. Hopefully I can cut it down to a reasonable 15 to 20 minutes. Feel free to comment down below what beer you'd like me to try next. I don't know if it'll be a Stella glass, but maybe I'll get a normal one. Or we'll just keep using the Stella glass. Again, Stella, please don't sue me. If you enjoyed the video, you know what to do. My name is Eric. I make videos about things I like to talk about. See you in the next one.